because we cannot sleep on our rights as citizens. We cannot remain silent because we think the system is not working. We need to continually make demands on the system, until the system responds to the needs of citizens. This is one of our actions in demanding for a new electoral law. This engagement, we did not want to be in one cozy room to do that. So we had brought the demands to the National Assembly as they sit today, so that they would understand that citizens would not keep making demands until we have a new law. In addition, different partners are also having several engagements with key stakeholders in the National Assembly and placing demands on them. And on the question on these priority issues, are they there? Yes. They were presented as part of our memos to the public during the public hearing. And one of the things we are demanding is to ensure that in the review process, these priority issues are not neglected. We do not want a law that only protects interests of political parties or politicians. What we have seen is that these politicians mortgage our future by demanding or making reforms that only favors their interests. What we are demanding today is that in the reform process, the priority issues of citizens are taken into consideration, because if the law is not citizens responsive, then it is not a law for Nigerians. And we want to ensure that this process truly produces a law that meets the needs of the citizens and fundamentally guarantees credible, free, fair and acceptable elections. We can no longer sleep on our rights. And in year's 2018 process, it failed. This time around, we are not going to wait till next year. We are going to keep hitting until we have our law this year before the Anambra elections. Thank you.
My name is Ezenwa Wago, and I'm the Executive Director of Peering Advocacy and Advancement Center. If you were around during the lead up to the Edo 2020 election, you will have come out with the impression that that election would not hold. At the end of the day, the election held. There is a governor there now, and Edo State is being run by that governor. If you were around in 2011, it will always be about this 2011 election, will it hold? In 2015, in fact, there was a prediction that Nigeria would disintegrate before 2015. And in 2019, we have had, let me tell you, the politicians are preparing for election. Part of the challenge of insecurity that you see may not also be taken away from the push that will lead us to that 2023. In the next few months, all the conversation will be about candidates, and Nigerians will start taking position on who to support and who not to support, including those today who are at the center of the drama that we're seeing. That is not to say that the security is not a concern, but it has not and will not affect the preparations for 2021 election. And we do not want to use that as an excuse for the National Assembly to deter and the executive also to deter, because what has happened before now is for me a leadership conspiracy to ensure that Nigerians don't have the kind of electoral act that they require to run a credible, fair, acceptable election. And so we need to continue to put the pressure, in spite of whatever is going on, to ensure that those who have the duty to present to Nigerians an electoral act that is worthy of a credible election do their job. And I think that is clear. We are not going to be taken aback by the challenges that we face. We will not outsource it. We will do what is required to make sure that those who have the duty to perform their responsibility do so in good time, because the challenge has been in good time, and that is why we started yesterday. If you say we have done this more than 10 times, repetition is the law of lasting impression. We will continue to put it in the front burner, and it is not the duty of civil society alone. That is why we are calling on Nigerians as well to raise their voice, because an enabling law, a good enabling law, is the starter for credible, fair, and acceptable elections.
Yeah, so
our demands are not met. Well, I want to tell you that we're very optimistic that our demands will be met. We are saying that because the strategy we have used, which is simple, soft power, putting pressure on the people in power, engaging them, getting them to understand our vision, our aspiration, and the need for our demands. Our demands are genuine, and genuine demands will always have its way. So I want to assure you that we have just started. We're not going to sleep until our demands are met. And I guarantee you, at the end of the day, you may not see all of them, but you will see a reasonable accommodation of our demands today. We need you. We need your medium to take our voice where our voice cannot be heard. You have become the voice of the voiceless, and we need you to echo that voice until those in power will hear us. Not only will they hear us, but do what we want. The people that feels the most the pinch of this lack of inclusion are persons with disability, the community that I belong. And we are saying that elections will not only be free, fair, and credible, but must be inclusive. Inclusive of women, inclusive of youths, inclusive of persons with disability. And the time to carry out this action is now. The time is always right to do what is right. And we are saying to the National Assembly, please pass this bill, but don't pass this bill without ensuring that it is inclusive enough to become a bill that we will be proud of as Nigerians. Thank you.